An American family is begging for U.S. officials to try and intervene in the case of a former U.S. Marine sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison. The 29-year-old was initially arrested for an alleged attack against officers. Now, some are questioning if his conviction was politically motivated and if a prisoner swap may be in the works behind the scenes. Patrick Reed files this report.
This was what Trevor Reed's family had most feared. The 29-year-old former U.S. Marine from Texas sentenced by a Russian court on Thursday to 9 years in prison, now pleading for his home country to get him out.
Congress, my president, anyone in the United States, the State Department, Secretary of State, anyone who believes that they have an ability to help me, I'm asking for help now.
The verdict watched by Reed's father, Joey Reed, who spent almost a year alone in Moscow trying to help free his son. Reed was convicted of charges of assaulting 2 police officers, but his family and now U.S. officials say those charges are trumped up. The U.S. ambassador to Moscow, John Sullivan, talking to ABC News today to slam the verdict as absurd.
It is a step backward in the relations between the United States and Russia. The case was laughable. It was literally a joke, and that it provoked laughter in the courtroom. But it's a bad joke.
The police's case rests on a drunken incident that Reed says he has no memory of. At a party last August with his fiancée, Reed became heavily intoxicated. On the way home, friends said they called the police to take him to sober up. Reed's fiancée said police initially told her to come pick him up in a few hours. But when she did, she said Russian intelligence officers also arrived. Police now charged Reed, accusing him of attacking the officers while they were driving him, causing their car to swerve dangerously. In court, prosecutors presented almost no evidence to support the charges. The officers repeatedly contradicted their testimony.
Every single piece of evidence that was used in this case was taken by my attorneys. We presented video, which was on the street, which showed that this car never swerved. This never happened.
With Reed already detained 11 months, his family and U.S. officials had still hoped the court might recognize the case's alleged problems. But after he received the maximum sentence, they have no more doubts.
I think any type of military service in the United States is basically making you a target for the Russian government to kidnap and charge with crimes that never happened.
Fueling those fears is the trial of Paul Whelan, another ex-Marine jailed by Russia just last month on espionage charges that the U.S. government says are fabricated. Whelan's family and U.S. officials believe Whelan was targeted as a bargaining chip. The question for Reed's family now is whether he may also have been kept for a similar reason.
I won't add to that speculation except to say, as I said previously, given how flimsy the evidence was in this case, it does lead one to question the motives behind why it was brought.
Russian authorities have already floated the idea of a possible trade for Paul Whelan, naming 2 Russians jailed in the U.S. Victor Bout serving a 25-year sentence for terrorism charges, one of the world's most notorious arms dealers, the model for the character in the Nicolas Cage film Lord of War.
I supply to every army but the Salvation Army.
And Konstantin Yaroshenko, sentenced to 20 years on large-scale drug smuggling charges. Both have suspected ties to Russian intelligence. U.S. officials have declined to say if Russia has approached them about a trade or if it could be possible.
We want to get them home. I know the president feels very strongly about this. Secretary Pompeo feels very strongly about this. This sends a very strong signal to Americans about how welcoming Russia is, what they can expect, how they should expect to be treated by the judicial system, and it's not a pretty picture.
Our thanks to Patrick.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.